It's been 5 years since England became the last part of the UK to introduce legislation banning smoking in workplaces and enclosed public spaces.
The aim, of course, was to reduce passive smoking, but does the law go far enough? Joining us now are Andrea Crossfield from the charity Tobacco Free Futures and Simon Clark, who's from the pro-smoking group Forest. Good morning to both of you.
Welcome to you both.
So, 5 years after the UK became no smoking. Andrea, has it worked?
As part of an internationally evidence-based approach to tackling tobacco harm, smoke-free legislation's just been a massive success story. It's publicly popular, it's well supported, and it's improved health. It's improved the health of the public and people at work too.
How can you prove that it's improved health?
So we have evidence that shows us very clearly that in England, in the year after the legislation was introduced, 1,200 fewer heart attacks happened. For example, we've seen improved bar worker respiratory health. Bar workers were the most exposed group to second-hand smoke. So it has really been a success story and people like it.
Simon, like it?
Well, there's still a lot of people who don't like it. And I think they have a right to have their opinions heard. I mean, clearly there's been a very high compliance rate, but that's because the penalties were so high. If you're a publican, you could be fined up to £3,000, you could lose your licence. There was a publican in the Bolton area who ended up in jail because he allowed people to smoke in his pub. And the point about health, I'm afraid there is no evidence it's had a great impact on the health of this nation. I mean, this business about heart attack admissions to hospital, they were already in decline before the smoking ban. The decline that we've seen since the smoking ban is just a continuation of what was happening anyway. It's been an absolute disaster for the pub and club industry. Over 5,000 pubs have closed since the introduction of the smoking ban. Now, people may say, OK, there are other factors, like the recession, but we know from industry database that the decline or the increase in pub closures has happened in the aftermath of smoking bans in Ireland 2004, Scotland 2006, and now England 2007. So it's been terrible for the hospitality industry, and also this has had a massive impact on people's social lives.
Andrea, what do you say to that? I mean, you can't drive down a street anymore without seeing pubs closed or for sale or to let.
There was already a decline in the kinds of pubs that perhaps you're not seeing there anymore. The government did look at this very carefully 2 years ago, and it said there's been no impact on the hospitality industry. We've seen the same evidence from Scotland and from Ireland, and what's happened is that yes, some pubs have closed and other pubs have opened. Pubs have changed. It's not necessarily a place where you go to smoke and drink. It's somewhere that you go to be with your family.
I'm sorry. Look, David Hockney, who's one of our great supporters. David Hockney has made the point: a pub isn't a health club, for heaven's sake.
No,
they should be places of adult entertainment. I'm fine. Have family pubs, but let adults who want to socialise with other adults.
Wetherspoons is a pub that was a little concerned about the smoking ban. They're not, they're doing really well, and one of the things that they're saying is actually they're making more money now from breakfasts and coffee.
We don't all want breakfast and coffee. We don't all want gastropubs. Some of us actually like the old backstreet boozer. Why should those places, which they can't offer a nice smoking area outside, why should they be forced to go out of business? What we're asking is, all we're asking for is compromise. We're asking for smoking and non-smoking pubs. We're still campaigning for separate smoking rooms in pubs and clubs.
It's not going to happen, though, is it, Simon? It's not going to happen.
I'm sorry, there are a lot of MPs who still support it. We want to be more like Europe. Why do we have to have this comprehensive ban? No other country in Europe, apart from Ireland, has a comprehensive ban the same as the UK. And when David Cameron talks about the big society, smokers are now excluded from the big society. They're forced to stay and drink and you're funded by the taxpayer. You're funded by the taxpayer.
Our job is to improve public health. This legislation was about health at work. Bar workers were the most exposed group of workers. Bar workers are protected in their place of work.
Bar workers can have a choice as well. They're adults, they can make their own decisions whether they want to work in a pub that has a separate smoking room or a pub that doesn't.
I'm putting an end to this now, because I think we could argue and discuss it as lively and as entertaining as it is all morning.
We will discuss it. In fact, we'll discuss it again at 8:40. In the meantime, let's turn to smoke of a different type.
Andrew, Simon, thank you.